Morning, students. In this video, we will see the remaining topics of the lesson Mughal Empire of History, Chapter 4. In this chapter, we are going to learn about Akbar's policies, Sulaykul, Mughal Empire in 17th century, decline of Mughal Empire, and Mughal Empire after 17th century. The broad features of administration were laid down by Akbar, and elaborately it was discussed by Abul Fazl. It means Akbar's wrote works are found in the book Akbarnama written by Abul Fazl. Akbar divided his kingdom into provinces called Subas and governed by Subedar, who carried out both political and military functions. Each province also had a financial officer, which is also known as Diwan, for the maintenance of peace and order. In his province, the Subedar was supported by other officers, such as the military paymaster, the minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage, military commanders, also known as Faujdars, and the town police commander, known as Kotwals. Akbar's noble commanded large armies and had access to large amounts of revenue, and these revenues were collected by Subedars. While Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri during the 1517, he started discussion on religion, to whom he started discussion with ulama, Brahmins, priests who were Roman Catholics, and Zoroastrians. Do you know, children, where these discussions took place? So, these discussions took place in the Ibadat Khana. Akbar was very interested in the religion and social customs of different people. Akbar's interaction with people of different faiths made him realize that religious scholars who emphasized ritual and dogma means here set of rules, and these dogma were often bigots. Bigots are those persons who have very strong belief in their religions. The scholars, religious scholars, those who have very strong beliefs, they are called bigots. Their teachings created divisions and disharmony amongst his subjects, and this eventually led Akbar to the idea of Sulaykul. Sulaykul means universal peace. This idea of tolerance did not discriminate between people of different religions. Instead, it focused on a system of ethics in which honesty, justice, peace was included. And Abul Fazl helped Akbar in framing a vision of governance around this idea of Sulaykul. This principle of governance was followed by Jahangir and Shah Jahan as well. Let's see the Mughal Empire in the 17th century and after. The administrative and military efficiency of the Mughal Empire led to great economic and commercial prosperity. International travelers described it as the fabled land of wealth, and the country was also described as a bird of gold in the world. As you know, students, that Akbar was king in the beginning in his reign. The empire was too much happy and prosperous during his reign. After him, Jahangir came, and then Aurangzeb came after Jahangir. The Mughal emperors and their mansabdars spent a great deal of their income on salaries and goods. These expenditure benefited the artisans and peasantries who supplied them with goods and produce. But the scale of revenue collection left very little for investment in the hands of the primary producers like peasants and artisans. And this creates imbalance in society as the empire spends too much money on the salaries and goods. And the poorest amongst them lived from hand to mouth, and they could hardly consider investing in additional sources like tools and supplies. And this led the weakening of empire as the merchants and peasants started ignoring the Mughal rules because now they find the increase in the productivity with the help of their wealthier ideas and techniques. The enormous wealth and resources commanded by the Mughal made them an extremely powerful group of people in the late 17th century. And the Mughal Empire after 17th century started decline. In 17th century also the Subedar started revolting and keeping their Suba as their independent kingdom and ignored all the rules made by the Mughal emperors. And after 17th century, the Mughal Empire came to an end in 1857. Do you know, children, what was the main reasons for declining? The main reasons for declining were lack of leadership and lost the reign of Akbar's rules.